And then in the 2000s, as we looked at how else can we protect the athlete and create an athlete that's functionally safe and strong for the craft that he's going after. And so we launched strength equipment. And so that was in early 2000s. We did that with some inside developed pieces of equipment until we linked up with Tyler Hobson and Pendulum Strength in about 2005, 2006, and launched, helped him bring forth the products he already had, and had secured clients in the know, like University of Michigan and Penn State and Bowling Green and some of these big high blue chip type clients. And he needed to find a partner to help him manufacture and build and take his product wider, and we needed a partner who was intelligent and had great design and kept with the Rogers Athletic Innovation. And so we launched Pendulum Equipment in 2006, 2007, and have continued to roll since.
And Tyler was already making his own stuff, the Pendulum line, down in Texas. Yeah. But something you're going to see as we get, later on, is that everything done at Rogers is all in-house, and they have access to a lot more stuff than somebody doing it on their own was able to do. So Tyler was making kind of one-offs of everything, and you were able to streamline things and then give him the technology to do even more.
Yeah, it's amazing what Tyler Hobson was able to do. He would go out and he would meet with the coach and the person that had the need, had the problem to be solved, and he would listen to them. And that's a craft that's not really widespread, listening. So he would listen and he would talk with them, and then he'd come back and he'd study and he'd craft a machine and he'd build it and weld it and cut it and steel it and get it fixed. And then he would paint it, and then he would put it in his truck, and then he'd drive that truck to Jacksonville or wherever he needed to go to share it with the coach and see if he solved the problem. Most of the time he did, sometimes he didn't. So he loaded it back up and go back and share it. So what he was able to do was craft this niche of machines and apparatuses that he understood as a bodybuilder, or as a power lifter and as a strength trainer, and used experts to help him refine that. Mm-hmm. So what he had developed was 9 machines that had solved problems, had done something special, had built upon people in the past, and he'd stood on the shoulders of other people that have innovated the strength side. But what he needed was, he couldn't do that all. He physically couldn't do that all and get the message and the quality of the machines he wanted into the scope he wanted. And we needed know-how. We needed to bring some guys in that would match our culture. And so, we got to play with the machines, but Tyler was the ultimate voice. He said, does it match my machine? Is it as good or better than my machine? And that's what let us know if we could go forward.
Yeah. And I think that his spirit of listening is something that the whole Rogers group does really well too. And we had talked to you before about, you always are wanting to find what people need and how to make it better. Yeah. And that even was part of the whole design process. At first, your machines looked one way, and as you talk to different strength coaches, now you've got this sweet looking stuff. You can kind of see behind us, like, stuff's sweet looking, it's hard looking, and it didn't look like that at first, and you kind of needed some input.
Yeah, it was. This is a story that we've held inside for a long time. But when we brought the machines back, we have a lot of capability in our plants. We can do a lot of cool things, specialized things, and so when you get the bicep, you kind of want to flex that muscle sometimes, right? And so we thought when we brought Tyler in with us, we started to collaborate how great we would do in bending steel and making machines, right? So we wanted to flex that muscle, and so we designed his whole set of machines, kind of redesigned them, keeping all the same points. You gotta remember, we went into a weight room and used lasers and electronics and measured pivot points and made sure that we knew exactly what made his machine special. And then he stayed on board with us and he made sure it felt right, because that was a big part of it. So we wanted to make sure the machine was exactly the same or better if he felt it needed to be better. But we were going to move the metal differently. We were going to be able to bend the metal, put wings, and do whatever we needed to do. So we built this awesome, what we thought was really awesome look, right? So, but then we were smart, we listened. And so we went back to Tyler and said, what do you think? And he said, let me go listen. So he took those designs on paper, and went out and talked to people in the marketplace. And he came back and he said, yeah, they kind of like it, but it's not edgy enough. It doesn't match the emotional experience that strength training really truly is. It doesn't line up with what we're trying to do, that we're overcoming weakness. And so we bought pizza. We went and we ordered some pizza here from a local pizza shop, and we brought pizza in, and we grabbed all our engineers who are just masterful engineers and developing guys, and we took them upstairs, and we put the pizza on the table, and we poured some pop out, and we all just gonna have lunch together. Been working hard for a month or so, and we took the movie 300, and we popped the movie 300 in a TV, didn't tell them why we were doing it or anything, and we just let the movie run. And so we were eating, and you'd watch around the room, and all the guys in the room, they're all watching this movie 300, and if you've seen it, it's pretty awesome, it's pretty powerful, its imagery is really strong and vicious, and so we stopped it at about 20 minutes into it, and through Tyler expressed to them how that's what we want. When we see these machines, when the guys see them, they're going to feel great, they're going to feel right, but when they see them, they got to elicit the response that a movie like 300 that's powerful, stylized, strong, is going to do. And so the great story is we had an engineer who had done some wonderful things in our business, but he stayed late that night. He called home and
so you told them, you said, hey, this is what we
want. You're exactly right.
300.
Yeah, we want 300. We want 300 is. We want power, we want strength and savage and strong.
And you didn't feel like that's the look.
We weren't there yet.
Yeah.
We weren't there yet. So, and we want that never to compromise the durability of the machine or the strength curve of the machine. Tyler held fast to that. He wouldn't let that go, and we didn't want him to let that go. But you know, we don't have to compromise and have a look. We can make it special looking too, and do that. So we pushed ourselves one more time. And this gentleman calls home and tells his wife, I'm going to be late tonight. I'm not going to be home for a while. I apologize, but I got something burning and I got to do it. And so as we all left, he jumped on his computer and started to design off the machines that we already had put in. And he threw on some headphones and got some of the appropriate type of music in. And he went vicious that night. And in a matter of 5 or 6 hours, he recrafted the look. And so when we came in the next morning, he presented that look to us and said, hey, here's some stuff I just put together. And that was the row machine that you would see in our pendulum row machine now. And he said, is this what you guys think? And we went, yeah, that's it. It went up on the drawing board, and then all of our engineers worked off that, and we worked to craft that. And that's how you get the pendulum line that's today. So somebody who really knew what they were doing was listening and built a machine that fits the body, that fits lots of bodies, that allows a body that's injured or hurt or repairing itself the ability to come back quicker by strength training. That's what Tyler brought us. We had an operations plan where the ownership had done a wonderful job investing in a business and in the capabilities to be able to craft and tune and shape steel and aluminum and wood into whatever shape was the right shape. And so we had that going for us. And then the last component we needed was these designers that listened to what they needed to have and made the machines look and feel the way they do, which we think is something special.
Yeah.